Hey everybody, hope you guys doing alright, man. So, I'm gonna just say, so like the Most Highs, man. I've been talking about the Most Highs a lot in the word Yahushua, but I've also been pretty adamant about how I feel like there's been a very serious manipulation of all religion. Anything that's good, the enemy is going to do what it can to manipulate it and turn it for its own evil purposes. It's that simple. So I feel like I can relate to a lot of atheists because I really do not like the division I see inside of religion. Like what religion has done to mankind has been. I feel like it's done more harm than good. You know, and I could be wrong, and that's not even the main thing I'm trying to talk about right now. What I do know that it is not solving the problem, and it's been again the nature of religion. I think was something that man created. I don't know if it was with that intent. It might have been. Now I'm getting that it was made with the intent to separate mankind. Actually, like it really wasn't even intended to help people in a good way. Yet we continue to rely on this thing that's actually been put in a place to keep us from doing what we need to fucking do. I'm getting off tangent here. The point I wanted to make with this video was to say like the Most Highs. Like when I'm talking in that type of a way, a lot of people could take that a lot of different ways. And I'm gonna break this down. To me, it's all about energy. It's getting back to the sciences, the most simplest thing that cannot be argued. Facts, absolute truth. Readings, studies on what happens when energy changes. Because the Most High is all about harmony. It's all about living in good harmony with yourself and everything else. And in doing so, you gain access to powers, to energies, to information that you would not have if you were not aligned in that type of a way. So atheism, to me, and I haven't even looked into it too much, but because they don't, well, first of all, one of the things that I just read, and I don't even know too much, but I'm taking my word from a dude's channel that I just watched. But one of the things that they seem to believe in is they don't believe in the supernatural. And but that word supernatural, I think we need to examine it, look at it from a different lens because it's really all supernatural is just something more than the normal that we're used to. Like, you know, because everything is natural. Everything that fucking happens is a part of nature, is a part of this reality, and there's a reason behind it. So it's like when I see stuff up in the skies, and I've seen dozens of times, moving in a way that's organic and looks like a fish kind of moving around in the sea, to me, I'm like, what is that? You know, seriously, like for a while, I was just speculating and just like, but I'm also, as I'm looking at it, I'm getting hit with the most profound, beautiful, calming, loving feelings you could ever imagine. I feel kinship to these, to whatever that is up there, and I have no idea what it is. So what is that? What's going on there, dude? Why do I have orbs flying around on in my videos at times? Like, there's been a couple of videos where I have orbs and stuff flying around. And it's pretty evidently clear it's not an insect, it's not a bug, it's not dust, it's an orb flying around. My colors will sometimes change around me. And it's like there's reasons why. It's because of my energy, because I'm continuing to progress in my growing in the Most High's ways. As you do so, you grow in Most High power. So now I'm starting to experience and I'm starting to receive information that is of a quote unquote supernatural level, but it's really just an advanced level. It's just a higher level than you. What we're doing right now, from the perspective of an insect, would be something of a god. Just like for beings that are able to teleport and to travel through space and do all these things, to us would be that of kind of like a god. I mean, I could see, especially as primitive man, looking at those things, could easily look at that and figure that's my God, that's my when in actuality it wasn't that wasn't the message at all. The message was just that they're just here to help humans remember what it's like to be human again, and from learning where and in doing so, hopefully that message will help change this realm back to one where humans are doing good and being as humans should be, taking care of themselves and the planet and the animals as good requires, as good is. So, anyways, just getting back to my main point, which is just about how the Most High is, when I'm talking about this, it's really just all about that Most High loving power, that almighty power, like how to attain it. Like there are ways to go about getting it. And that's what it's all about. And because we've fallen out of good alignment with those good ways, we've become weak because we are not following the Most Highs. We're following more so than the most lows. And that's why we are at the lowest, that low that we've probably ever been on this planet right now, collectively, is right now. I mean, it's pretty bad. It may have been worse some other time, but right now we're in a very low spot. And it's because we've collectively and individually, to a greater degree than the Most Highs, much more so, chosen that trajectory. And it's our choice. And that's another thing about this whole thing that's going on right now, is we are choosing this. It's a hard pill to swallow, especially here in America, because a lot of people in America feel like they've been hurt. You know, they don't want to take responsibility for the fact that they haven't stood up for what's right. Because they've had jobs, but those jobs are things you chose, man. It is what it is. Nobody forced you to work. Nobody forced you to have that apartment. Nobody forced you to have that car. Nobody forced you to have all these subscriptions and to have all these needs and have all this shit. You put that on yourself. There are ways to survive out here without having to work jobs, without having to go through the system the way that they want you to. Like, all these things are set up on purpose to entrap you. There is ways to go about making a living and money and living and all this and that without being a slave. I mean, without being completely trapped. But it is going to take like what you do with your money, like that's also going to perpetuate your future, like the job that you're working, all of that. And it's like even the energy you're going to absorb from that job is also going to get in the way of you accessing that Most High powers, especially if you're using your money in a bad way, especially if your intent isn't to help others. If you're just doing it for selfish, greedy gains, and that's all you're going to keep on getting. It's like people be out here working these 9-to-5 jobs, being sober, doing all this and that for themselves, and then they'd be thinking they're going to get some supernatural stuff, but they really haven't been doing nothing else for anybody else. It's all selfish, and that is not how the Most Highs work. It's all about the harmony. It's all about helping others. It's all about keeping that good status quo together. Okay? So, and I feel like that's also another misconception that, 13 that I disagree with. It's just how much of an emphasis he put on staying alone, just focusing on yourself and getting right physically, but he doesn't. In my opinion, like he's very good about that, and that is a very important part that you need to do, because a lot of the times, not all the times, like as we grow through the matrix and all these things, we develop relationships, but because we develop relationships when we're not in the best state, these relationships are more of a lower vibrational nature. So as long as we're holding on to these lower vibrational relationships, we're holding on to a lower vibrational part of ourselves. So that's why it's important as we grow in the Most Highs at times to take a break, or put people who are still of that lower vibrational area, you gotta give them space so that you can grow into that Most High beautiful butterfly. And then once you get to that level, which requires you to help others, is what it is, then you've gotten your wings, you've gotten your colors, you've gotten your halo, and you can then reach out to help those that you knew before. And if they want to receive your help, cool. If they don't, that's fine too. But they will swamp you. That's another thing, because if you are one of them, that means that your whole life, for those of us that are of a certain type of nature, we are going to be fed on by others, because we are born with more of an abundance of energy and goodness. And because we live in a time where there's so much misery, that abundance is really happiness, it's healthiness, it's love, it's something that they're lacking, that they want, but they have chosen to turn their backs on the source that comes from. So because they've turned their backs, they've now chosen to live a life that's more associated with pain, but they still really want that love. So when they come across a creature or a being that comes from that place of a mass abundance of love, they can't help themselves but want to feed off of that power, especially because they know how to do so, because they were once of that same type of caliber, but they fell, they turned their back and were cut off. So now that they've been cut off, they're kind of like a drug addict without their drug. And so when they get around that drug, that they can't help themselves because they're still under the mindset of a low vibrational frequency. So being under that mindset, if they see something they want, they go after and they get it however they can, especially when they know that they can. And it's like, this dude's just right here radiating energy, and he's all beautiful and good, so there should be nothing wrong with him sharing a little bit of his energy with me. And if it's going towards good uses, then they're absolutely right. In actuality, no matter what, the more they do suck from a good source, the more they are actually absorbing that good source. So even if they use it for evil means, it's still changing their DNA in a good way. And because of what they did and how they used it in a bad way, that karma is going to go back on them to teach them what they need to learn, so that they don't continue to do that. Whew, that's a lot. Wow. So, anyways, man, again, I'm gonna break this down, but I can get where the atheists are at, and this is why I'm been told I'm the buffer, I'm the bridge, I'm the thing that's gonna help all the religions and everybody come together in a good way, goodness, honor. The Most High's is that. It is that Most High goodness. It is that Most High love. It is that good Most High feeling, baby, and it feels great once you get there. But it's all about making sure everybody's feeling good, not just you. Okay. All right. I love you guys. I'll take care. Bye.